A kingdom whose current roots date back to the 15th century, whose language is spoken by hundreds of millions of people around the world, whose territory has spawned world-famous literature, art, theater.
But just ask an American what he thinks about Spain. And this is what you get.
Alright, what I think about Spain. Spain, the food was weird. Like, I didn't find the food to be good. Not a whole lot of choice. Like, I would like lots of salads. I guess it was healthy food, but it was kind of blandish. It seemed. I didn't speak Spanish, so I'd like see ensalada, and I was like, "Oh, cool, enchilada." But ensalada means salad, so I'd be like, "Cool, my enchilada," and they give me a salad.
So, considering that we are all different types of people with our own beliefs and our own way of thinking about things, I think this just means that we need a breakdown of Spain and their last elections, because this is what we are dealing with.
And then I went to like Barcelona, and that was pretty. That was like a big party scene. There was this hostel that was like multi-storied, and then inside the hostel they had a beer vending machine. So that was cool. First time I'd seen anything like that.
Flashback to December 20th, 2015, when Spain conducted its first round of general elections. The results? Indecisive, with the two main parties, the PP and the PSOE, dropping in popularity since the previous elections. So then, fast forward to 2 months later, we've still got no absolute majority in Spain. Different third parties plan on forming alliances with the two bigger parties, but still, nada. This led to the Cortes Generales to dissolve. Okay, so does that mean no president and a free-for-all in Spain? No, just that another election would have to be held again, and this time on June 26, 2016, 6 months after the first inconclusive general elections. Fast forward to June. We're waiting for the results of the second general election, and when we've got them, surprise! Again, no absolute majority, and this time, the once very powerful Socialist Party found itself dropping even more in popularity. The results of the second general election were astonishing, but quite similar to the first. Neither of the two stronger parties, which in the past had been able to reach an absolute majority, were coming out on top, and Spain was left yet again without an elected government. By the end of August 2016, after two investiture debates, the standing Popular Party Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy faced consecutive setbacks, and people began to wonder, was Spain going to be able to choose its new government? Or would it have to return to the ballots for the third time, this time on Christmas Day 2016? But things began to heat up in September when former head of the International Monetary Fund and former Deputy Prime Minister of Spain, Rodrigo Rato, of the Popular Party, arrived to stand trial for allegedly misusing corporate credit cards and spending a total of 12 million euros while in charge of two leading Spanish banks amidst Spain's ongoing economic crisis. Still, at the same time in September, Galicia and the Basque Country, two autonomous communities in North Spain, held their elections, and their results bolstered the PP's position, despite party corruption, especially in Galicia. So at this point, we might be asking ourselves, but why? After all the corruption, after all the information at our fingertips. But based on this graphic, describing people's interest or lack thereof in politics around Europe, there's a growing trend for political apathy, and Spain is at the top of the list. So, could it be that our American's description of Spain isn't really far off then? Okay, so much information. let's get back to the breakdown. So, the climax is the following. It's Wednesday, September 28th, 2016. Spain is waking up for hump day. Spanish citizens open their newspapers and they find that the former Spanish socialist prime minister from 1982 to 1996, Felipe González, is outright infuriated by Sanchez. With a third general election just around the corner, corruption scandals from within the current standing prime minister's party, and a failure to negotiate and reach a compromise had Spain at the end of September just about to pop. But then it happened. It was a big day. The same day as González's comments, 17 members of the PSOE's 38-strong executive committee suddenly resigned, leaving the Socialist Party no longer with the required 50% of members needed to carry out its duties. Sanchez suggested holding a leadership vote, but party members refused. It was suddenly here. After the meeting, Pedro Sanchez resigned, leaving the party without a general secretary. In that moment, it had been decided that Mariano Rajoy would continue being Spain's prime minister. So, don't look so surprised. Long story short, what we have seen in Spain this year is becoming the norm in society. We could sit around and criticize Spain and its people, wondering, how could they have elected not once, but twice in the same year, a party snowed under in corruption? But back to reality. Let's not kid ourselves and be honest. We can see this mirrored on a slightly, but much larger scale, where elections were held recently, and this guy won.
I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try her. She was married.
It's huge news there.
No, Nancy.
Yeah.
No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a but I couldn't get there, and she was married.
In conclusion, well, what is the conclusion? Well, I suppose we can say that in 2016, in today's day and age, despite having everything we could ever possibly need at the tip of our fingers, a lot of those around us couldn't be more ignorant about what's going on around us. Whether it's in the US or Spain, I think it's time for us to become informed, even if it's just a little, un poco. Maybe for the next elections we'll be able to make a decision based on what's fair and right instead of choosing between the best of 2 or 3 evils. I close with this to inspire you to get out and get informed.
And they have really interesting architecture in Spain too. But I didn't really like it. I found it creepy. It was like Gothic, like buildings with twisted forms and gargoyles, and just like, yeah, I didn't like it. But it was like really artistic, the most artistic architecture. Maybe I just didn't think the artism was, I don't know, it was like overdone, like tacky, kind of like a Russian subway or something. But